Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. I'm here with...
Hey everyone, it's Ram here from Colourlock.
And in this video, we're going to show you how to restore and refinish heavily worn leather with holes in the bolster as well, using a full professional method.
Hey everyone, so we're looking at these original BMW seats. It's a car that's 22 years old, done 130,000 miles, so all the damage that you see on here is natural, nothing unexpected. You've got a hole here in the leather. That's something that we're going to look at fixing. The bolts are around it, it's slightly worn as well, so we're going to be fixing that. There's a lot of other deeper cracks that also will need to be filled, primed, painted and then clear coated. So that's going to be the overall process for both of these seats, and we're going to break all of this down into three main steps, which we're going to look at in more detail later on. Stage one is to clean the seats with a mild leather cleaner and the Colourlock brush. We're going to use that to thoroughly clean the seats, make sure we remove all dirt from every area, every corner, and all the dirt that's stuck in the grease as well. This is a very, very important part of the entire process. Now once we've cleaned, the next part of the process is to degrease it. Degreasing is very, very important, especially because we're going to be painting the surface here, and in order to make sure that the paint bonds to the surface very well, we want to make sure that we remove all grease that's on the surface. So any oil, traces of previous care products that you've put on, make sure you remove all of that. That's a very, very important step as well. And the products that we're going to use for this are the leather cleaning spirit and a soft cloth called as a viscose cloth, but you can also use a microfiber. So once we've cleaned and degreased, the next step is to sand all of this down. There's a lot of rough edges. These cracks seem to have some sharp edges as well, so we want to use the Colourlock sanding block just to make sure that we get rid of all the sharp edges and get a nice smooth surface, which again is going to be crucial to the finish that we're looking for. After sanding, that'll generate a lot of dust, so we're just going to wipe down the surface with the leather cleaning spirit and the cloth just to get it nice and clean again. Right, so we're on to stage two of this repair, and in stage two we're gonna put a backing cloth to cover the hole on the inside of the leather. So we've got it evenly spread out now.
It's a tricky bit, isn't it?
Yeah, you just want to make sure that it's well spread on all sides. Yep. And we're then going to fill it, right? And to fill it, we're going to use a filler called the leather filler, right? We're also going to use this filler to cover all these deep cracks that you've got on various parts of the seat. And finally, we're also going to use a binder, which basically is a binder-based product to just reinforce certain parts of the leather that appear to be a little weak. And what this binder does is, you can think of it as a liquid filler, but what it does, it literally just goes and sits in all these cracks and just reinforces the leather, which is again going to be important to make sure that we get the right finish. So hopefully that's clear. Right, so we've applied the binder, we've put the backing cloth underneath the hole, and now we're going to move on to our filling stage. Right, so when you're doing this yourself, it's best to just mix the paint beforehand. We've pre-mixed the paint. Mixing the paint is a whole separate topic, and that's something that we can go on deeper in a separate video maybe. But for now, we've mixed the paint, and we've got the filler here, which is called the leather filler. And what we're going to do is tint the filler slightly. Just that will help cover all the cracks, and that'll also make sure that we've got to put on less paint to cover. So if you don't tint the filler, what happens is you usually get white filler that shows through, and it means that you've got to apply more layers of paint. So when you tint it, it just makes the subsequent processes a lot easier. Hello everyone, so it's day 2 of working on these seats, and as you can see, we've done bulk of the filling work yesterday across the seats, the bolster. We had a big gaping hole there, so we filled that yesterday as well. And today, before we move on to the paint stage and the finishing stage, we're just going to adjust a couple of things. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the GLD solvent, the sanding pad, and just sand all of this stuff down just to get it nice and smooth. There's going to be certain areas that are probably going to need a top up of filler because the filler dries, it shrinks as it dries. So we're just going to top that filler up and then move on to the paint process. So I'm just wiping that GLD solvent on top to just soften that filler again. If you're doing this, it's best to just use the one part of the sanding pad to do it, because you can see the solvent starting to bite into the sanding pad.
All right, okay.
You don't want to ruin all of it. Just keep using that one area of the pad just to spread the solvent everywhere, and then use other areas to sand further. We did a lot of filling work yesterday, and this morning we've sanded it all down, and before putting some more filler on, I'm just checking to make sure that the areas that we repaired yesterday are quite intact and the filler is going to stay. And you can see it's solid, the repair is going to stay, it's nice and flexible, it's durable, and at this point now we can just raise that a little bit further, put some more filler on there so that it's nice and even, it's got good coverage, and then move on to the actual paint process. Right, so all of stage 2 is now complete. So we've filled, we've masked off, we've mixed the paint, and we're now ready to move on to stage 3, which is applying the paint. We've also put a primer on as well, so now we're ready to put the paint on and clear coat the surface. Right, so we're halfway through stage 3. We've put some paint on and we can now see certain areas which are starting to show a bit more, the imperfections starting to show. So we're just about to fill, we're just going to top up the filler on all these areas to get them looking perfect so that we can carry on painting and carry on with the finishing process that we've got to do. Right, we've sprayed multiple layers of paint on here, and the consequence has been that, you know, the surface is left feeling a little rough. So before we put the final layer of clear coat on there, I'm just sanding the surface down with a 4000 grit sandpaper just to get it nice and smooth, lift off all the high spots, and that smooth surface is what we're looking for as a final finish. So we've finished with the paint job. All that's left to do now is just to put the clear coat on. And when it comes to clear coat, you can adjust the level of gloss that you're looking for, right? We've got two different types of clear coat. We've got a matte version and a gloss one. You can mix the two to get the desired level of gloss that you're looking for. Once you've mixed the two, you've also got to put an additive called the Crosslinker, which makes the clear coat a lot more durable. So mix all of these together, and then just make sure you filter them, put them into your gun, and spray 2 layers of them, and then we're done. Cover the high areas that don't want it when you run. Look at that. Look at that. Incredible. Okay guys, so stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 are all complete. The repair is done. In the description for each stage we'll list the exact products you need, through to the cleaning, the degreasing, the sanding, even the tools that you're going to be using to kind of fill in the leather, the paints. Everything that you've seen in this video will be in the description. And if you want to learn more about how to do this yourself, and if you want to attend one of our trainings, there's more details about that in the description below as well.
And finally guys, a huge thank you to Ram from Colourlock.
Pleasure as always.
It has been awesome watching him do this, guys. We're going to do some more videos on the backup channel, but in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already, and bye for now.
Bye for now.
Perfect.
once what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I?